Fantastic. Thank you, Froggy. We really do appreciate it. So we're continuing, excuse me, with Hurricane Milton relief efforts. And we have Christian Smith, the CEO of the American Red Cross of North Florida, here with us today. Thank you so very much for being with us, Christian.
Of course.
So this is very cool. We really appreciate the effort. So there's a lot of folks that are really struggling right now, right? And so the American Red Cross is a huge part to seeing that they get relief, right, and getting their lives back on track. So what kind of need is the Red Cross seeing in impacted communities?
So, you know, when you think about all the shelters we had open here, right, so we're in a good position here, right? So we were able to shut down our shelters here, but then we have shelters open across the whole state, mostly in the Central and South Florida area. About 14,000 people spent the night in shelters last night. So think about the magnitude, the number of people that did not have a place to stay last night. So right now it's about taking care of people's emergency needs. It's about feeding, sheltering, counseling, and then those emergency needs they may have while they're in the sheltering environment. We also have teams that are going into those most heavily impacted areas when we can go in, and we're making sure that we're providing meals and snacks, but also what are those cleanup supplies? And then don't forget, people are forgetting about the tornadoes that hit in South Florida.
They're huge and very dangerous.
They're huge. They are, and the impact of that's a different kind. They have different needs. So they'll need cleanup supplies, and they'll need different things than the people from the hurricanes. And keep in mind, a lot of people from Helene now have been hit twice, and then for some people, you know, Debbie was an impact. Debbie was just 2 months ago, and so we forget
about that.
We forget about that. And then for those of us from, if you think about from here all the way to the Big Bend, we have families that I was in the shelters with over in the Big Bend area that have now been hit 4 times. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. So the impact for people is tremendous. So what we do is focus on those emergency needs first, sheltering and feeding, and then we immediately go into the damage assessment phase. What are those needs going to be? But we have to have really 3 different theaters going on. We have sheltering and feeding going on, we have mobile feeding, but then also we have 3 different operations going on that combine as one.
Oh wow, that's a lot of effort.
Huge.
So what steps can residents take to be more resilient in the face of these larger and honestly more frequent storms?
Sure. First and foremost, do you have a plan? What is that plan? You know, are you going to go to a Red Cross shelter? Are you going to go to friends and family? Or are you going to stay at home? If you're going to stay at home or go somewhere else, do you have that disaster supply kit? That kit is going to be critical for you and your family. Have you thought about what are you going to do? Most of us lose power for a period of time, although here JEA does a fantastic job of getting it back quickly, but a lot of people experience power outages. So have you talked to your family about what you will do during that power outage?
Absolutely.
And things like food and water and basic first aid. There's a whole list. You can go to redcross.org. They'll give you all of those things to put together. But it really is about taking care of yourself and your family so that the families that can't take care of themselves, we can do that in those sheltering environments.
That's fantastic. You know, a lot of folks, they really don't actually think about that. In fact, my wife and I were because our in-laws had to come from Clearwater, right? And so we're kind of thinking about it. What do you do when you're out, when your power's out for say like 5 or 6 days, right? Your preparation has to be completely different than if you are just like maybe 12 hours or so, right?
Well, and if you have children, I know you're getting ready to have, you know, so you got to think about what are you going to do to keep them occupied, right? So what I love is pull out those old Blackberries, pull out all those electronics, those old ones, plug those in, let the kids play with all of that stuff. You probably have 10 or 15 of them, so that'll work for days. Don't use the devices that you use on a day-to-day basis.
Gotcha.
Give them something to do, play games, you know, give them opportunities, because what happens is that after about 12 hours, everybody's done, everybody wants something to do, so we really recommend you have a plan in place for that. That's almost as important as having food and water.
Absolutely, you drive yourself crazy if you don't have something to do, right?
Well, in communication with your family members, you know, your family member came here, right? So you knew where they were. When you're going to go and they're going to leave, they need to let people know, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to a shelter, or I'm going to be in this location. This is critical so that when the storm passes, we know how to find people.
Yeah, absolutely. So one more time, where's the website so people can help?
It's redcross.org.
Redcross.org. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate your time today. You guys are an amazing organization doing amazing work. Let's see what Jordan's up to.